like to call the February meeting of Cherokee Village City Council to order. Please join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us have a moment of silent prayer, please. Amen. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Roland. Here. Christopher.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Heffley. Ishmael.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Quorum established.
Thank you. Next is approval of tonight's agenda. Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Thompson. Who had the second on that? Oh, Mr. Ishmael. Second for approval of agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is approved. Next, any public comments on any agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the January meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to approval of the minutes from the January meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved, be filed for audit. We have no correspondence. Next is the financial report for your review.
I have a question about the financial report.
I'll try to answer it if I can.
We did that for the firemen, where do I find it?
Mr. Martin, would you
Oh, sorry.
pull that down, please?
We did that for the 3 firemen and their insurance. Where do I find that in the line items of the?
That was, first payment was just made this past. It won't show
So it
up
won't show up
until
till next one?
right.
Okay, thank you. I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith, the approval of the financial report to be filed for audit. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes, financial report be filed for audit. Next item is the mayor's report, and I have nothing to report for this month. Move on to department reports. You have your animal control report. We did have a fire in the neighborhood this week, just across the street from the animal control facility. An individual decided to burn some cardboard when in a high wind. It got out of control and got into the woods, and they were concerned it might jump the road, but the Ash Flat Fire Department, I think they also called in the Forest Service, I'm not sure, but they got it under control. And no damage is done except into the woods and whatever grass got burned. No questions on animal control, no report on community service, district court. Incidentally, district court will be in this room tomorrow. Fire department report. Have any questions of Chief Deans? No questions. Let's move on to the police department report. I'm sorry, I skipped the P and Z, code enforcement. Any questions? Okay, now the police department report. Any questions of Chief Lane? None. Let's move on to the street department report.
Will we have any sort of information from the street departments on what roads they're going to do anything with this year, or they have plans to do? Are we going to have any report from the street department on what they're looking forward to doing as far as other than patching of roads this year, if there is anything to be done?
I think if you go to the street committee meeting, probably that be discussed then, but right now, no.
But when they discuss that, could they bring some sort of information to us, the city council, as what roads they're planning?
Usually they follow up with that.
Thank you.
And if you have any direct questions, it's directed to Mr. Sukowski.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, other reports. A&P report.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, on the A&P.
Yes. The floor, Mr. Smith.
I would like to report from the A&P that myself and Mr. Norberg went to Chicago for the Ideal Living Convention there. We made contact with 60 individuals. We sent out follow-up letters to those folks yesterday through the Welcome Center. It was a very successful convention, even with all the COVID stuff that was in place. They had an overwhelming response to the convention itself, and a lot of people there. Following up with that, Mr. Norberg and myself are heading to Fayetteville on the 28th through the 3rd, a week from now, or a week from this weekend, to the Governor's Convention. We were given some information at the Chicago show that there would be a group from Oklahoma. The Oklahoma State University Institute for Economic Development will be present at the Governor's Convention, and we're hoping to have some meaningful interchange with them, and all of that is through A&P.
Thank you. Airport report, none. No grant reports. You have the minutes from the P&Z Commission. No report from the street committee as they will not be meeting until next month. No reports. Tri-County or the Welcome Centers closed until April, I believe. That brings us to old business. And first item under old business is sales tax proposal, ordinance 22-01, the proposal to levy a sales tax. We don't have to read that because it's already been read. Is there any discussion on that? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval of that ordinance.
Mayor, you have to first have a motion to do away with the 3 readings. Has it been read 3 times?
Oh, I thought you said we didn't need to do that.
No, if I said that, I was mistaken.
Okay, well, then I'll ask for a motion to suspend the 3 readings.
I motion we suspend the readings.
Second. Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Thompson to suspend the 3 readings of the ordinance. I guess we need a roll call vote on that, please.
Roll call vote to suspend the reading.
Roland,
Yes.
Mr. P.E.G.,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, now that everything is in correct order, I'll entertain a motion to approve this ordinance.
I motion we approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Thompson to approve ordinance 2022-01. Roll call vote, please.
Discussion?
Yes.
Yes. I think it is the way it is, and you have to approve the ordinance before you vote on the ability to have the citizens vote, but I strongly disagree with things being done that way.
Peter, can you take off your, I can't understand a word you're saying there. Thank you.
I strongly disagree with having to approve a tax prior to having the citizens vote on it. I would have rather seen it the other way around, but this is the way the normal procedure is done. So I believe it's a little bit backwards in how it is being done, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't think there was enough discussion had amongst the citizens of Cherokee Village about this, or if there were any other plans in the works. And I don't know if there's any other plans in the works if this fails. So we've had 3 months, and I didn't see any meetings that called about us sitting down and talking about this or discussing this, other than telling myself and other aldermen that we have to get this done in a certain timeline. So I'm a little bit depressed about that. That being said, let's go on with the vote.
Peter, to see section 3 of that, it only becomes effective if it's
Sure.
voted on.
Correct. Correct. And yeah, I did my homework. I called to ask to talk to you about that, but you weren't available. So I did my homework, and that I noticed, yes. Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Martin,
No.
Smith,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, we move on to Part B, Ordinance 2022-002, which refers to putting it on the ballot.
I make a motion that we suspend the rules and, for reading it 3 times and, go by title only.
I need a second on that motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Christophe to suspend the rule of 3 readings on ordinance 2022-2. Roll call vote, please.
Roland,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, moving on to new business.
Nope, we still have to vote on it. I make a motion that we pass that ordinance.
I'll second.
We have to pass the ordinance. We just voted to.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You got it.
Thank you for getting me back on track.
Motion by Peter, second by Chuck.
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Christophe for approval of ordinance 2022-2. Roll call vote, please.
Roland,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes. Mayor,
motion passed.
can I make one more little statement? In this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Arkansas code, and this is, I had a couple people ask me about, fixed incomes. Arkansas code 005GR-6, services subject to tax, utilities and public services. There's a section in there that if a residence or a person makes under $12,000, then he can apply for a permit and have his utility fees and his franchise fees taken off the rolls, that they don't have to pay the taxes. That's only if they qualify and are under $12,000. Is that?
I don't know.
Okay. That's Arkansas Code R 005-GR-6. So if anybody wants, it's also section 23-18-301 of the municipal code for electricity. So if anybody has any questions about that, could you research that?
Can you give me that citation, the last one?
The last one.
The one that was 3 numbers?
Okay. 23-18-301.
It was 18-301?
Yeah, 23-18-301. I could give you the,
No, that's good.
the copy of this if you'd like it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, you need to have a separate vote on the emergency clause.
We did.
I motion that we accept the emergency for both of them, or just?
No, just the
second one?
second.
For the second ordinance, number 2202.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to approve the emergency clause for passage of ordinance 2022-2. Roll call vote, please.
Roland,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, now the new business. Resolution adopting premium pay for the designated municipal employees according to the American Rescue Plan. This is the same resolution that was passed earlier in 2021. The only change is the amount stated, which is a smaller amount, because we're making up for the remaining part of 2021, period June through December. Now, if you like the whole read it in its entirety, we can do that. Or
oh, we gotta do the motion first, correct? No, not a resolution. I would like to ask a question. Is this gonna be audited by the federal government
eventually.
eventually? Is it possible to see the paperwork of what we are going to show the auditors for the federal government when and if it might be audited?
When we get the forms to fill out, we can do that.
Okay, so I make a motion that we pass this.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to approve resolution 2022 adopting premium pay for designated municipal employees according to the American Rescue Plan. We need a roll call vote, please.
Martin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
Rowland.
yes,
Motion passed.
Okay, next item under new business is a resolution amending the street department general
That's
fund
basically
for the
the
city.
cleanup resolution?
Hmm?
That's a cleanup resolution for the street
Yes.
department. I make a motion that we pass that resolution.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to approve the resolution for amending the street department budget for the city of Cherokee Village, the 2021 street department budget, excuse me. Roll call vote, please. Unless there's some, anybody have any questions or discussion? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Rowland,
yes,
Christie,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item is, since now we've cleaned up all the budgets, is to approve the amended 2021 budget.
It says
For the city.
2022 on my sheet here.
Hmm.
My sheet, if we're going for number 3, resolution 2022.
Yes.
So since we did every one individually, now we're doing them as a...
We have to do the, approve the whole thing because of the audit.
Okay, then I make a motion that we approve that. So this is all of them put together in
Right.
one big... Thank you.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to approve the amended 2021 annual final operating budget for the city of Cherokee Village. Roll call vote, please.
Martin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
Rowland.
yes,
Motion passed.
Okay, item 4 is destruction and disposal of old records and files. We have an affidavit of destruction. Clerk, you want to read that, please?
Affidavit of destruction. Before the undersigned notary public, duly qualified and acting in and for said county and state, appeared Penny Trumpy, the city clerk for the city of Cherokee Village, Arkansas. To me, well known to be the affirmative herein, who states the following under oath. That I am the appointed city clerk for the city of Cherokee Village, Arkansas, and it is my duty to maintain certain records on behalf of the city of Cherokee Village. That I have prepared a list of documents, a copy of said list being attached hereto, and incorporated by reference as is set out word herein, which is more than 7 years old shall be destroyed by shredding. That said, attached description and documents that are being destroyed and the period of time to which said documents apply. That I have read the above statements and they are true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Will be witnessed and noticed.
And you have attached the documents in question. And we have quotes from two different,
Do we have to affirm this, or this is just part
I
of the
think,
duty?
don't we? I'll ask the city attorney, do we need to?
No, this is just notifying you of what's been happening.
So let the clerk do her job, pick whichever one's best. And
Right.
yeah.
We have, you have a copy of this, of the quotes on these documents, destruction?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean, it's her job, let her pick whoever's the best and do her job. We don't need to do it. Not that I know, of, right?
This is a city council decision.
To pick which one.
We're spending some money that's not in
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, but it's under $20,000, isn't
yeah,
it?
but it's not in the budget either. We're not,
So we just have to vote to put something in the line item.
we
So-
approve the expenditure for it.
Oh, so this isn't in the budget.
And you also have to vote to authorize her to destroy the documents.
But that's good. That's what I was asking, why we were looking.
If she's telling you that she wants to, and now you're going to give her.
Then I make a motion that she can destroy those documents, because that's within the time frame that she's supposed to be destroying documents.
I second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to approve the destruction disposal of all the documents attached to the affidavit of destruction. Roll call vote, please.
Roland,
Yes.
Christophe,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Now we need a motion to approve the expenditure for that.
Which service would you prefer doing it?
If you look at your packet,
Yeah,
we really only got one good quote. The other was just very minimal.
and that was for how
It's
much
in your
money?
packet,
I don't have it in front of me right now. What was the total amount on that?
$1,000.
About $1,000.
Okay, so I make a motion that we have a line item added for the amount of money that she needs to shred the documents.
We don't need to put a line item, just appropriate $1,000.
Oh, appropriate $1,000.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Smith to appropriate $1,000 for the expenditure of destroying these documents. Roll call vote, please.
Martin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Christophe,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next item is a request to amend our agreement with Waste Connections of Arkansas. We discussed this at our working meeting on Monday, and those in attendance requested that Mr. Smith and I meet with representative from Waste Connections to resolve some issues and answer some questions. We did that today, and I will let Mr. Smith report on that meeting.
Items that we were in question for, we have 12 roll-off boxes that are allowed us every year out at the city workyard. They agreed that those would remain. We would have 12 of those at our disposal. They have also allowed us 4 more roll-offs for our spring cleanup for Village Pride. Well, 2 for the spring cleanup and then 2 for the fall cleanup for our Village Pride. That's something we've been paying for in the past. We filled up our own trucks, but they will allow us to bring in theirs and use their stuff. They have also agreed that they will patrol Highway 175 up to 289, starting at the Omaha Center and working out towards 289. The last person to collect trash in the city will take note of the sides of the roads, and they will go through and do a thorough cleanup if it is deemed that their trucks have caused the trash to pile up on the side of the road. So they will be doing that for us from now on. They are working on better customer service. This is something that they have done, they've implemented already, but due to the conversations that we've had today, they're going to step forward on that and work more diligently to have better customer service to our citizens when they do call in, and they will be a little bit more amenable to requests as they happen. They are going to look into requiring that all contractors tarp their loads coming into the landfill. We feel like that's probably a big part of what's happening on 175. If you notice along 175, after there's a major storm and a lot of roofs have been cleaned off, there's a lot of shingle and roofing material that ends up on the side of the road. We feel like that's coming from the contractors, not from SID. So they are going to look into requiring all the contractors coming into the landfill to have their loads tarped so there won't be this problem going forward. They've also looked into giving us a substantial discount for cleaning up our burnouts. This is something in the past that we've just loaded up our trucks, taken them out to the landfill, and they've charged us common price for bringing those trucks in. In the future, they'll either bring us a roll-off so we can clean up our burnouts, or we call in advance when our truck is heading to the landfill from a burnout, and they will give us wholesale pricing on the delivery of that material to the landfill. So it was a very productive meeting. We got a lot accomplished.
I might add that when he mentioned about the roll-offs for the spring and fall cleanups, if the Village Pride does not use those, then they will also be applied to our roadside, I should say roadside, our curbside pickup during the year. So they were more than willing to work with the city as they consider this the home base because of the landfill.
Mr. Mayor.
Does that also apply to our spring cleanup where we allow residents to come in and dump stuff? They're free to dump that?
We will be allowed 4 additional on top of the 12 that we already have, and they will bring those to our site if we need them here at King Roads for a cleanup, or if we're doing something that it goes to the city yard, they'll bring those to where we need them.
The only problem I have with this is they're asking for 8 years, and I don't think we should obligate ourselves past the 4-year term.
I thought we were only asking for 4 years.
No, it says 2 periods of 4 years. That's what my sheet says.
But we have the
It says
option
for
of,
2 successive periods of 4 years, so that puts it past, a person's term. So we're obligating. So I think 4 years is great. Every 4 years. That way, when the body might change, then things might change. So
Well, it says it may be extended for 2 successive periods
of 4 years, right?
Yeah, so I mean, wouldn't that mean that we would have to have the discussion again?
Not the way that's
what we're doing today. We're actually extending another 4 years on a contract that stated exactly the same thing.
So
we're allowed to extend for another 4 years.
So we're just extending it for 4 years and not 8
With the
years.
option to extend for an additional 4.
Then that makes a lot of sense.
That's scary that I'm making sense.
No, I was reading it that it's 8 years and then the council won't have to do anything for 8 years. But as long as the council every 4 years has a say in it, then that's great.
We're on track with that.
and we have the option, if there was dissatisfaction, we could
Yeah, get out of it.
get out of the contract.
Yeah.
So what's the pleasure, gentlemen?
I make a motion we adopt this contract. And I would also respectfully request that this document in its entirety is put in with the ordinances and made public. Because there were a lot of things in there that people don't understand or don't know why they can and why they can't do it. But that original agreement stated that pretty clearly. We're just seeing the amendment. We're not seeing the whole document.
Correct.
So I'm respectfully requesting that the whole document gets put in with the ordinances or someplace on the city site where anybody can review it and understand why certain things are done the way they're done, because it's part of this agreement.
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Easy enough. Let me write myself a note.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion to authorize me to sign
So
this
moved.
agreement.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Who seconded that?
Rob.
Mr. Smith made the motion, second by Mr. Martin.
Roland,
Yes.
Crispy,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, next item is a request by Arkansas Department of Transportation to purchase a small portion of city property right away as it pertains to the low water bridge project. And you should have in front of you a map showing that. It's about 4/10 of an acre. That's the area out here on the other side of the parking lot where the large town center sign is. And they're offering $43,000 for that
Motion we approve.
4/10.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Hill, second by Mr. Martin to approve sale of that property and also authorize my signature on that contract of sale.
You made the motion, you got it. He said that he can sign on it. You just amend your motion.
Oh, I make a motion that you can sign on.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
No problem.
Martin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Crispy,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I might add that the money from that sale I intend to set aside so in the future, after that whole project is complete, we will probably want to erect new signage in some location, and that money can be used for that design and erection. And so it won't be, hopefully it won't cost $43,000. Some of you might have questions about the LED sign across the road. That too will be moved and probably changed. RDOT classifies that as personal property, so that's why it's not in this sale proposal. There'll be another proposal will probably be coming forth sometime in the future, according to what I was told by the representative from RDOT. Okay, any comments or questions on city-related business? Yes, Ms. Page, come to the podium, please.
I think of this as city-related. The SID meeting is in fact at 6 o'clock Monday at Omaha Center Auditorium, as confirmed by the general manager this evening.
Thank you for that. I would have been there at 3 o'clock.
Yes, that'll be for their general meeting and also be nominations for the upcoming commissioner elections will be at that meeting. Any other comments?
Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Martin.
Planning and zoning is reviewing that property, and it looks like they're going to be having a hearing. I would still strongly suggest to the council that we set that hearings for things are done in the evening instead of in the middle of the afternoon, so we might get more input on it. That's why we have the city council meeting in the evening. I'm not saying that they should change times of the regular meeting, but I think if they're going to have a hearing on a parcel of property like that, or any parcel of property where we're going to be changing zoning or doing something of that nature, that we should be able to let the working people attend the meeting. So it's a strong suggestion that we make up rules for hearings. If we're gonna have a hearing, let's put it at, after 6:30. So a person that works for a living can show up for it. A person that even is doing the, hearing on their property, let's say, that they can come in and talk about it rather than having to take a day off of work and do something with it. So specifically about hearings, not changing their regular time, but just hearings. I wish we'd take it under consideration and do something
Is
about it.
there any negatives that anybody could come up with that idea?
Not at all.
Can you make a
No.
motion to,
We, the city council, I believe, would have to make some sort of rule that hearings are done and have it abide by all the departments. So, or do you want to verify that, or?
It's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda. We're talking about agenda for next month.
Let's talk about it next time.
Okay.
It's a good idea, Peter. I think it's something that should be included in the agenda for our next meeting.
Okay, so make a motion to put on the agenda for next
I
month?
motion we put it on the agenda for our next meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I need a vote on that then.
Yes, sir.
Roll call vote on that motion.
Roland,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yes.
Hill,
yes,
Ishmael,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, motion passes. Be place, creating rules for committee, commission meetings on the agenda.
Just hearings.
Hearings.
Just hearings.
Okay,
I'm not
well, that
going on
only
that.
applies, that probably only applies to P and Z.
This type of thing,
Any other comments?
If there aren't any, I'll make a
Hearing
motion
none.
to adjourn.
I move that a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.